And we alive. What's good, y'all? It's your man DL Saint. Welcome. I really want to know podcast. Happy Monday, y'all. What's good? How y'all feeling? Hope all is well on your end. Things are not bad on this end. I ain't gonna lie to you. Things are not bad at all. I am just checking out the stream. And y'all know how I get down. I check the audio now on the stream. That's how I do it. It's better than what I was doing before, like checking my phone or whatever. So, what's good? How y'all doing? Welcome. It's time for to get into it. It's a Monday, man. I hope your weekend was fine. Yo, listen, y'all. Hey. I know Brother Tate. I know Andrew Tate said depression isn't real. Boy, it sure does feel like it. And again, like he says, how did he put it? He's like, it's only as real as you let it, it's only as real as you allow it to be, I guess, is me paraphrasing. And I get where he's coming from. Hey, man, depression can be debilitating, man. Whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? When you're down and it's more than just being sad, when you got stuff going on and hey, y'all, don't let it get you. You hear me? Don't let it get you. Do what you got to do. I mean, man, look, the past couple of weeks have been rough, really rough. But like on the past few streams, I've been starting with this. Hey, y'all, this depression stuff is real. Like it's real if you do believe in it. If you give into it, it will sap all of the life right out of you. You know, I can see those people who are really dealing with the real depression, like there's something wrong, with their chemical imbalance or whatever it is. Those people who feel the way I felt over the past couple of weeks every single day, yeah, go get help. Go and get help. Go get help. I'm not a big person. I'm not all about what's the word? Medication. Not all about medication like that. But if this is how people feel, just by waking up in the morning and going through their day, yo, go get some pills. Go get some pills. Uncle Saint doesn't need any pills. Like whenever I feel this way, I don't drink. I don't do anything. I push through it. And I finally drug myself off the couch. Took my daughter to school. I came home. I put on some shoes, some we call them gym shoes. Some people call them tennis shoes, track shoes, whatever you want to call them. Athletic gear. And then I walked to the gym, which is probably a quarter mile. I walked to the gym. I'm between two phones. I went from an Android to an iPhone, so I was having trouble moving the app over. I went in there, was able to get the app transferred over, and then tomorrow I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to work out. Y'all know I'm old, but I'm going to get in there. My arms are getting small. My chest is getting flat. I'm like, no, I can't allow this to happen. You know what I mean? And this is what Andrew Tate was talking about. You got to just get in there. You got to push through it. Now, if you go through these steps, you got going to the gym, like that walk I took today. I mean, it shook me out of it, at least for a couple hours. And I got home, I started doing chores instead of letting stuff back up. There's so many things I got to do because there's so many things that I did not do. Appointments need to be made. I have to remake appointments. It was so much stuff that I just let go, just pass me by. Man, that depression, y'all. Hey, listen, and we're going into a phase in our economy here in America where things are about to get rough. So, hey, y'all, prepare for battle. That's all I got to say. Prepare yourself. Prepare yourself for the next I'm going to say the next 12 to 18 months are going to be kind of rough. There's going to be layoffs. We already see how much stuff costs now, like food costs more. I've had 5 people talk to me this month already about the price of eggs. And then I started paying attention. You know what I mean? I started paying attention. Brother Dinosaurs in the house, man. What's good, fam? How you feeling? Men going their own way. Brother DL, did you get to watch Dune? I haven't watched Dune yet. I'm going to watch it tonight. Because I remember Dune back in the day in the 80s, And I was a young kid. I couldn't figure it out. I left the theater. I was like, this is too much. I never read the book. I think it was just one book, or was it a series of books? I can't remember. But I'm hearing and reading a lot of things about Dune. I'm going to check it out tonight, bro. I'm going to check it out tonight. And then on Thursday, let's do a sci-fi day on Thursday, bro. I'm going to make a thumbnail. We just gonna geek out, man, and talk sci-fi stuff. Thursday, we're gonna do Thursday at 6 p.m. It's gonna be sci-fi talk, man. I'm gonna watch Dune. I watched Black. What was it? Black. What was The Rock's latest one, man? Black something. The anti-Shazam, right? I watched that. Not good, man. I didn't think that was good at all. I thought people were just being hard on The Rock. Man, that was horrible. DC is just having problems. So we're gonna talk about that. Black Adam, thanks, bro. We're gonna talk about Black Adam on Thursday. We're gonna talk all things sci-fi on Thursday. I'm gonna put a thumbnail out. All things sci-fi Thursday, bro. It's like, see, did you have it before retiring, brother? And you're talking about depression. No, I've dealt with it before. I've just never really termed it depression. Like, you have your ups and downs, you're good, you're bad, whatever. Living in LA was tough. Even making the money that I was making, living in LA was tough. The last 2 years were really tough because it got into like the whole family court thing. Like I made some mistakes, man. Let's keep it 100. I chose poorly when we're gonna talk about this with this MGTOW stuff. I chose poorly. And I'm going to have to deal with the consequences of my action. You know what I mean? Period. I tried to do the whole we can make it work and all this kind of stuff. Let's do it for the kids. Tried all that, man. And you just get clobbered, bro. It is the worst type of fight. You're fighting with both hands tied behind your back. You're dealing with a system that the system doesn't really care. I don't think they care about women or men. It's just now the system. It's kind of like a great white shark, bro. It's just those dead eyes. Whoever gets to the system first, whoever files first, whoever has the better attorney or whatever, I think it's more of that than anything else. Anyone who's thinking about going through or has been summoned or is thinking about going through the family court system, get an attorney. Get an attorney. Get an attorney. Hey, don't go in there by yourself. Get an attorney. It is what it is. If you're dealing with a person who you guys just want the court to back up the decision you have already made, okay, that's fine. You don't need to go to court. You won't have to go before the judge. You guys can sort it out in mediation, come up with the documentation, the judge will sign it, and there you go. You have your whatever, like you want this in writing. Okay, you have it in writing in case somebody messes up. You have your protection or whatever it is you're looking for. But if it's outside of that, if you got a person who's whatever, just trying to hurt or be, be that person, male or female, get yourself an attorney. What I'm dealing with now would have been avoided had I gone in day one with an attorney. It would have all been avoided. It would have. So keep that in mind, y'all. But no, man, like, did I have, like they call it depression or whatever. Did I have these feelings before? Yes. Was it as bad? No, I don't think it was as bad. When you retire, you have more time on your hands. And I think it's one of those things when you're dealing with this sort of issue, the more time you have on your hands, right? The more time you have on your hands, the more that, we're just going to call it depression. We're just going to call it depression, right? The more time you have on your hands, the more depression can get its hooks into you. And if you're not fighting it, like you're just sitting around, it's just more time to think and stuff like that. So in my particular case, being retired, I think amplified the effects. Just kind of sitting around, like you go into zombie mode. At least I did. I just kind of fell into zombie mode, bro. And you got to fight that. You have to fight that. Now, if you have like clinical depression, like if you've been diagnosed with the real deal, like there's an imbalance, go work with your doctors and all that. Because I'm telling you, anybody who's dealing with that, anyone who's dealing with that, go get help. Like for real, like, dude, get help. What I'm dealing with it's just me getting tired of dealing with the stuff I got to deal with. That's all. And I guess I'm going to push through it. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where it's like, all right, enough. I'm about to go do what I got to do to push through it. And I'm not going to fall back on like violence and stuff like that. No, I'm just going to get my mind right. I'm going to focus on what I need to focus on, and I'm going to move forward. Right. I'm still going to get help. I'm a vet. I'm still going to go and I'm going to talk to some people. Right. I'm going to do that. I'm going to, the VA does offer these services. I'll be a fool not to take advantage of them. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to talk to some people, make sure everything's straight. You know what I'm saying? I'll make sure I'm squared away, make sure I'm hood so I can keep forward and move forward and do what I got to do. So yeah, man. Bro, I did have something similar to this before I got retired, but I was so busy I couldn't really let it fester. You know what I'm saying? But now that I'm retired, I can sit around, and I spent, man, I can't tell you, hours over the past couple of weeks, hours just stuck, like literally, bro, on my sofa, on my couch, bro, just stuck there, sleeping. And man, look, if anybody's dealing with this, man, for real, get help, talk to somebody. If you're afraid to go talk to a pro, man, hit me up on my Instagram, DM me, and I man, we can call each other on Instagram, man. If you want to FaceTime, whatever, I'll talk to you. If you think you got some issues, man, or whatever, I'll talk to you. Here's we'll go with that one. There's my Instagram right there. There's my Instagram. If you're going through something like this, and if you I don't know, you're hesitant to go get some help, you don't want to talk to the pros, you're embarrassed, whatever the case may be, man, hit me up. Hit me up. I mean that, y'all. If you're watching this on Team Replay, hit me up on my Instagram if you want to talk about this, man, because this, you know what I mean? I get what Andrew Tate was saying. Right? It's depression. It really is only as effective as you allow it to be. I get what he's saying. You know what I mean? So, hit me up, y'all. If y'all dealing with anything like this, hit me up. But yeah, man. Now that I'm retired, I had too much time. Black Adam, thank you. We're going to, again, Thursday, man. Let me write this down so I don't forget. Thursday, we're going to do, it's going to be Sci-Fi Thursday. Sci-Fi. Put that in front of it. Sci-Fi Thursday, y'all. Sci-Fi Thursday. We're going to talk about anything y'all want to talk about in sci-fi. Old stuff, new stuff that's supposed to be coming. Y'all want to talk about whatever you want to talk about, man. You want to talk about space-time continuum, bro? You want to talk about dark energy and dark matter? You want to talk about Hubble? You want to talk about James Webb? You know what I mean? You want to talk about whatever you want to talk about. Relativity, whatever. Anything science fiction, science fact, anything in that realm. Thursday, we're going to do it. 6 o'clock, y'all. Don't play around. You know what I mean? All right, Drizzle in the house. What's good, fam? Good to see you. Brother Dino, watch Event Horizon for sci-fi horror. You know what? That's in my queue, bro. Event Horizon, isn't that the one with Lawrence Fishburne in it? In that? Because I think I saw it. I don't know if I sat through the whole thing, but I'm gonna watch that too. I'll be ready. Event Horizon, and I'm gonna watch Dune. I'm gonna hit up my as soon as we're done here, I'm gonna hit that up and I'm gonna catch up. So Thursday, Sci-Fi Thursday, y'all. Be there or be square. And Brother Dino, is it not better to keep the break details out of the courts? It's best if you can to stay out of the court system, man. Now we're back on talking about family court. Like if you're going through a breakup or like if you're going through a divorce, I don't know anything about divorces. Definitely talk to a lawyer on that. But if you're going through custody matter, I would definitely highly advise you get yourself an attorney. Get the best attorney you can afford. Look at other options. Like there might be some men's advocate groups out there that can help you get quality legal counsel at a discount or something like that. Dude, it's worth the investment, man. Get the best attorney you can get. But if you do go in there by yourself, which you should not, but if you do go in there by yourself and you find yourself in front of the judge, I mean, the judges want to keep it like just the facts. They want to know how much you make, you know what I mean? How long you've been earning that, like where you live, if you're a dude, bro, I'm telling you, 90% of the time women are named custodial parents. So they get custody. The custodial parent be named. It doesn't matter if the woman is a criminal. Doesn't matter if the woman is a 304 professional or she's a streetwalker. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if she's in the country illegally. It does not matter. She's probably more likely 90% chance she's going to get custodial parent. So everything's based on how much you make. And the key is to get 50%. Right. Again, we have a system that monetizes children. So the less time you spend with your child, the more money you have to pay. So the incentive is to keep the child away from one parent or the other. And generally speaking, they want to keep the child away from the parent who earns more. So, bro, the system is crazy, man. Get an attorney. Get an attorney. That's all I got to say about that. Get an attorney. If you're going into the system, get an attorney. Yeah, that's all I got to say about that. Get an attorney. So yeah. And then the judge doesn't really want to hear about all of the breakup nonsense and all that. The judge doesn't care. They really don't. So yeah, you know what I mean? Is it better? I'm sorry, here it is right here. Is it better to keep the break details out of the court? Yeah, they don't want to hear about what led you there, this, that, and the third. All they really want to talk about is how much you make, how much you work, where do you live, you know what I mean, and what type of custody arrangements you want. And they have to name who's a custodial parent. Like I said, 90% of the time, that's going to be the woman. That's going to be mom. 90% of the time. 50-50 custody is what you want, which it should be. I mean, that's your child. You should get, you should be able to spend half the time with your child. And then it's like you got to break up the holidays and all this kind of stuff. It's a process, yo. If you are going into the family court system, take an attorney. When I was young, coming up back in the day, like the highest paid attorneys were like the criminal law guys that would get you out of, if you're a hustler or whatever, get you out of trouble. Now I think the top paid attorneys are family law attorneys. That's how much money. It's like I want to say it's an $80 billion industry. It may be even higher than that now. So like the business of divorce is just that, man. It's like big money. Now, not only does the state, the government get money off of the child support order, but all of the fees and all of the, all of the related expenses, man, it's crazy out there. So Brother Dino, a black man was in charge of James Webb. He got a big acknowledgement recently, having retired. Oh, I didn't know that. That's what's up. That's what's up. Lady Novola's in the house. What's good, love? Always a pleasure to see you. I hope you are well. We got Brother Viking in the house as well. Viking Paradigm, y'all. What's good, fam? What's good? How you feeling? So we got all that out, man. All right. So I got off on some crazy tangents, man, talking about depression, talking about family court. Let's get into what we came here to talk about, y'all. Let's get to it. MGTOW. MGTOW. What is MGTOW? It's an acronym, Men Going Their Own Way. That's what MGTOW is. It's an acronym. And you know what? I'm going to bring this up. So I went looking over while I was like on my sofa, not doing nothing with my life for about 2 weeks. Over the past 48 hours, I'm like, yo, man, I want to, for whatever reason, MGTOW was on my mind heavy. And I started going through YouTube trying to find, anything I could find on MGTOW. And there's not a whole lot out there. I mean, there's stuff that'll say MGTOW and then they'll go into some other tangents or whatever, but it's not a whole lot of stuff that I could find on MGTOW, especially recently. There was some stuff, 3 to 5 years ago and stuff like that. So you can go to Wikipedia, and I'm going to show you guys what it says. And we're going to start there. So we're going to try to define, okay, what is MGTOW? Men going their own way. What is it? You know what I mean? What is the deal? And here it is right here. Men going their own way. It's an anti-feminist, misogynistic, mostly online community advocating for men to separate themselves from women and from society, which they believe has been corrupted by feminism. Okay, we're going to go there. You know what I mean? The community is part of the Manosphere, a collection of anti-feminist websites and online communities that also include the men's rights movement, incels, and pickup artists. Like other Manosphere communities, MGTOW overlaps with the alt-right and white supremacist movements. And it has been implicated in online harassment of women. The Southern Poverty Law Center categorizes MGTOW as a part of male supremacist ideology. Wow. Let's start there. Wow. Not the take I got from MGTOW. That's not the take that I got. But okay, that's when you look it up, that's what you find. If you just Google it, that is the very first thing that comes up. It comes up in 27 different languages. All right. It's just one of those things. It's like, that was not my personal takeaway. Right. When I was a head scratcher. I'm like, yo. So like this whole Manosphere red pill thing, you know what I mean? Passport Bros, MGTOW, all this kind of stuff, right? Whenever you go looking for information, this is the kind of stuff that comes up. Anti-feminist, right? Misogynistic, which is anti-woman, like hatred of women, right? Okay. It says it is advocating for men to separate themselves from women. All right. And they say that they want to separate themselves because society has been corrupted by feminism, right? This is the manosphere, you know what I mean? Or as Rich Cooper calls it, the Mano Swamp now. It says it's a collection of anti-feminist websites and online communities that also include the men's rights movement, incels, and pickup artists. Bro, I don't agree with any of this. I don't agree with it. You know, and then it's funny when you see this kind of thing, like if you look at what women are putting out, with some women, not all, what some women are putting out, you know what I mean? The misandry is insane, but it's accepted. It's fine. You can say what you want to say about men, but if you say anything negative or anything that could be portrayed as negative, this is what comes up. So, all right. So this is what they say. This is what they say. The MGTOW movement is, right? That's what they call it. Like I said, I could not disagree more with that definition. So on this particular stream, we're gonna get into this on this stream. You know what? I'm definitely gonna drop the link on this one tonight. I'm gonna drop it here in a little bit, but on this particular stream, we're going to be talking about what DL Saint thinks. You know, what's my take on it, right? This is my personal take on this particular thing. We're talking about MGTOW. So nothing close to what was in that definition. Nothing close at all. All right, bro. So here we go. Brother Viking, so much cap MGTOW came from the failed MRA movement. I watched it happen. Yo, that's funny, bro. I hope you got time to actually jump in on this one, man, because I won't mind picking your brain. And MRA is men's rights movement, right? And I think that's what MRA is. And bro, so when I look at the manosphere, I look at red pill, I look at, men going their own way. I look at it as knowledge. It is simply an attempt to educate men on how the world works today. Simple as that. Like the way we were talking about depression right off front, right? First couple minutes of this live stream, we're talking about depression, and we got to talking about family court. MGTOW guys, and the manosphere, red pill, it's all about, hey man, this could happen. Not that it will happen, not that it happens 100% of the time, but it's possible. It could happen. Right. And I don't have to bring up the numbers, but we all know the numbers out there, right? When you talk about getting married, right? What's 50% of divorces? 50% of marriages end in divorce. And those numbers go up and down, depending on what state you in. I know California, I think their divorce rate is, I think they peg it at 56% right now. The state of California, they don't track divorces. I was looking for this a few years back. When I was going through the family court thing. I've never been married. I'll never get married. But I'll never get married like to the state. I'll never get married, in this country or any Western developed nation. I'll never do it. But I was looking to see what the numbers were, and the state doesn't track it. So you have to go through other sources to get these numbers, and there's a number floating around out there now, like 56%. Of marriages in California end in divorce. 56 is probably a little bit higher than that. It's probably over 60%. Right? Just again, I would not be surprised if the official number were over 60% of marriages in the state of California end in divorce. They're really high in New York as well, if I'm not mistaken. So, you know, bro. So the whole MGTOW thing, from what I can tell, when I fell down the red pill rabbit hole, and and I discovered this type of content, and we'll go out, you look at news articles and this and that. It's just numbers, and men going their own way is a possible solution to a problem. That's how I look at MGTOW. Men going their own way. That's what it means. Men going their own way. Dudes are like, all right, I'm looking at what's going on, and I don't want to play this game. That's all that is. And it doesn't mean these guys hate women. They do not. They do not. Most of the guys in the whole, the MGTOW world, because people are like, oh, it's like this movement. It's not a movement. It's an option. You can always go your own way. You can always sit back. Right? I would not identify myself MGTOW. But if we're being honest, if it's just us people right here talking, I don't engage nearly as much when I see women when I'm out and about in life. I don't. And when I do engage, I'm hoping to get a good conversation. That's it. That's all I'm looking for. I'm not looking for long term. I'm not looking for somebody that's going to be my wife. I am done with the Disney fairy tale. The last time I tried the Disney fairy tale, I got wrecked. The time before that, I got really wrecked. Right? It just, that is gone. That is gone. Does that mean I'm going to go off into the woods or go off to some island somewhere and live with, by myself and build a cabin? No, I'm not going to do that. Nah, not even. Not even. I'm not going to do that. You know what I mean? But it's one of those things, like, I can be here. I love being around women. Women are beautiful and sexy and cool and crazy and nice. And they're all that stuff, man. They ain't just sugar, spice, and everything nice. There's a whole bunch of craziness mixed up in there too. The ultimate gumbo, women. Like the ultimate gumbo. I like sitting around, like, talking to women. I like sitting back and watching the game unfold. I like seeing how people come at me. You know what I mean? I like seeing how I can come at certain folks. But it's a game to me. I know it's a game, like, man, whatever. And I'm only going to play to a certain extent. Right? So again, it's the variant. For me, it's kind of a variant of going my own way. I ain't dealing with that. Don't work for me. I'm not dealing with that. Right? So that's how I look at it. And we got brother Dusto in the house, scam likely. Yo, Dusto. Your man's in them from the spot, right? Your man you introduced me to at the spot on our Friday night joint, right? He's having his birthday party this Friday. He's got 2 tables. What's up, bro? You got to come down. He's got 2 tables, bro. He said he was going to reach out to you. He probably did. He said he was going to hit you up on Facebook. I don't do Facebook, but I'm glad you're here, man. I meant to text you, but I was dealing with that crazy depression. I didn't want to look at my phone. I'm just now catching up on all my calls and emails and stuff. But hey, your man's having a party this Friday, bro. You should definitely, if you can make it, man, you should come through. It's gonna be nice. As the kids say, bro, it's gonna be lit. As you youngins say, it's gonna be lit. Last week was cool, man. I was in there Friday, even in there dancing my butt off, man. When you talk to your man, he'll tell you I was out there dancing, bro. I was trying to get myself out of this funk. Went out Friday. And I didn't do nothing until I went to go get my daughter on Sunday. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So, Miss AKA ladies in the house, what's good, love? Good to see you. How you feeling, love? Always a pleasure to see you. Brother D, what's up, man? Good to see you up in there, man. And Dusto's like, I'll be there. Make sure you're there, bro. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time. So, yeah, man. Oh, and I wanted to read your chat. My bad. My bad. MGTOW. Miserable, goofies, traumatized over women. Hey, that's funny, man. Hey, it is what it is. People like to take their shots at them. But here's the thing. Men are problem solvers. Men are problem solvers. And I think that everyone can agree that this new sexual marketplace is problematic. It's problematic. Now, there's people I talk to, they're like, well, it hasn't changed since we were young. I argue that it has. It has changed drastically. And I think that's the majority of it is because of technology. Hypergamy is out of control right now, and women have access to men they would normally not have access to. And, hypergamy is out of control Again, I don't have a problem with hypergamy, ladies. I don't. You should get the best you could get, but you should do it within reason. So you have, you know what I mean? Like women need to understand that when men are faced with a problem, they're going to find solutions. So, Brother Donnie, you know what I'm talking about, man? Coming up, Fresh and Fit Dallas Cornerstones is in the building, y'all. So, men are faced with a problem. So, and it's one of the things, like when we talk about this men going their own way thing, this possible solution to the problem, which is the modern sexual marketplace. It is definitely a problem, y'all. It's a problem. I see it. I go out there. I see it all the time. I see it. Now, I will concede to the fact that, yeah, the 80-20 rule has been in effect forever. It's always been lopsided. It's never been fair. I get all that. It might have been 5-95. It might have been like 99-1. You know what I mean? Like the 1% was getting all the women and the bottom 99 dudes. But when you look at the history of our species, I get that. I get that. But then we went through a phase where, it was kind of like forced monogamy through marriage and all this kind of stuff. And it kind of worked for society. That's when we wound up with, the nuclear family and, the 10s, the 9s, the 8, 7, all the way down the line. And people were kind of looking across and were forced, in a lot of cases, to have that relationship with that person that is their equal on their level. Maybe a level up, maybe 2 levels down, but they were forced to have that relationship. Now, all that's changed, right? All that has changed. So, I mean, there's no one being forced to do anything. So we have this rampant hypergamy, couple that with technology. So the top 20 guys have unlimited access to pretty much all of the women who are single, for the most part. You have some women who are married that'll step out or whatever, but we're gonna put that off to the side for now. We ain't even gonna talk about that. We're just talking about the single women, the top 20% versus the bottom 80. So this is where MGTOW comes into play. So who should be going their own way? Like, which men should be actually considering MGTOW, right? So should all men be considering MGTOW? Absolutely not. Not all dudes. No. All dudes don't have that kind of value, right? So, and this is something I be telling folks, like, listen, if you're a dude out here and you're making like the average salary in Florida, you're making between $37,000 and $45,000, let's say 50. You're making between $37,000 and $50,000 a year, right? You're out here, you got yourself a studio apartment somewhere, or, you're living in like your grandma's house or something. If you're the average dude and you don't have anything to lose, you should be out here slaying. You should be out here going busters when it comes to these women, right? Get into the gym, get big, stack your money, go out there and holler at chicks because you have nothing to lose. Nothing. You're making $37,000 and $40,000 a year. You might as well go out here, learn some game, right? Figure out this game and go out here and get you some Foxy Brown, man. Let's go out here and smash. That's what you should be doing, because that woman is not going to want to marry you, right? She's not. And if you find a woman who marries you, dude, she's hoping you get better. So if she takes you on when you're in the bot, like you're not making any money, whatever, and she takes you on, and then y'all together 15, 20, 25 years, and together y'all build something, and then she leaves you. And I did say she leaves you, ladies. I did say that. Why? Because who files for divorce more? Women. Between 70 and 90% of divorces are filed by women, right? It's 70% for an average woman, and for women who have higher degrees, it's 90%. 90% of the time they file for divorce. So if you get with the woman and y'all build together, and then she decides to leave you after y'all done build, whatever, okay, cool. Yeah, she should get half. She helped you get that half. You had nothing when y'all got together. You had nothing, right? And the average woman in Florida anyway, the average woman makes more than the average dude, right? Again, why? Because women are going to college. They're finishing college in higher numbers. And we all know if you have a college degree, you're going to make more money. We all know this, right? This is nothing new. So if you a dude and you ain't got nothing to lose, bro, right? You ain't got nothing to lose. You should not be going your own way. You're not a candidate for MGTOW. If you're in the top 5%, top 10%, those dudes, they're not going their own way. They can afford whatever happens. You're talking about these guys who are making well into the 6 figures, into the 7 figures. These guys, they have their choice of women. Whoever they choose to marry, if they get married, it's going to be prenups and everything else. They know what they are. It's a wager. It's a gamble. They know what they're gambling. They put it all on black. You know what I mean? They put it all on red. Whatever it is they did, they put it all out there. This is what they're going to gamble on this relationship. And if it doesn't work, which, hey, half the time it won't. If it doesn't work, they already know what they're going to pay out. Why? It's in the prenup. Those dudes aren't going their own way. The world is theirs. They ain't got to go nowhere. They know what they're doing. They done found a woman. She's pretty, she this, she's that, she's whatever he wants. That's what she has. Boom. Sign this. Let's get married. Oh, you don't want to sign it? Fine. I'll go with number 2. Because they have unlimited options when it comes to women. So those guys, so the guys at the top and the guys at the bottom, they're not going their own way. The guys at the top, they're only losing what they wagered, right? So they gambling, whatever. They know what it is. The guys at the bottom don't have nothing. So the dudes in the middle, right? The average, like the guy who's making $60,000, $70,000, $80,000, maybe $90,000 a year. The dude's been, got a little, got some college. Maybe he has some, maybe he did his undergrad, city college or whatever. He's got a bachelor in whatever. Maybe he has an associate's, whatever. He did what he had to do. He's out there. He done, crawled his way up to a middle management position. Bought himself some nice property. Like he got out there, he got himself a house, maybe got himself a condo. You know what I mean? He started a 401k. Maybe he has some stock options. They got some, he's working with some stocks. He got some Bitcoin. That guy who's been out there building himself up because he came in with no value. That guy building himself up. And then he meets a woman. And he's like, oh, that's my princess, and I'm going to pedestalize her, and I'm going to do all this stuff. It's the Disney fairy tale. That guy takes on a woman who has $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 in student loan debt, another $25,000 in unsecured credit cards and what have you. No property, no 401k, right? Living check to check, no real money, but she's fine. She's beautiful. Right, she's out there doing her thing, and he sees her and he falls for her, marries her. They go 7 years, and then she divorces him and takes half. Right, that's what's going to hurt because that guy doesn't realize what he's gambling. He's all in on the fairy tale. I love her, she loves me. Right, we're gonna live happily ever after. Maybe 50% chance of that working. So they get married. They had kids, right? They figure out a way like, oh, baby, you can quit your job. You can stay home with the kids. And, we're going to do this and that. And I'm going to work extra and overtime and this and that. She's mad because he's not around as much. She's not paying attention. She got a new hairdo. He didn't notice. She goes out to the bar because he didn't vet her properly. Come to find out, she's been out here smashing. Just left and right doing her thing. She was like the party girl, but he didn't know it. Why? Because he wasn't in the clubs like that. He was working, building himself up. He got the wrong one. He chose poorly. 7 years in, she files for a divorce. Bam, alimony, child support, taking property, half of the retirement, all that. She won. He got crushed. That's the guy. That's the guy that should have went his own way. That dude. And those are normally the guys who go their own way. Those guys. Can the guy in that scenario recover? Yes. And they often they do. Oftentimes they do. They recover. Some dudes recover again to another relationship. The whole thing happens again. They choose poorly again. They get stuck. You know what I mean? Sometimes it goes that way. Sometimes they go out there, they'll meet someone else, but they'll meet them through the church or they'll meet them through their friends. They finally get themselves a good village, a good crew, a good clique, and they're able to vet the woman. And he'll take the time to vet her. He'll do 2 years to vet her. And like, okay, she's a good one. Bam. He'll go ahead and get married, and he'll do a prenup, and he'll keep all of his stuff separate. They'll learn. It's like sometimes they learn, sometimes they don't, sometimes they do. Right, and then you have some guys that are like, I just don't want to do it. You know what I mean? They'll find Fresh and Fit, or they'll find they'll find my platform, or they'll find Rich Cooper or Rollo Tomasi, and they'll be like, hey, the juice just isn't worth the squeeze. I'm gonna chase excellence. I'm not gonna chase women. Those guys do that. They go out and maybe get themselves in there, like get into aviation, go buy a Warbird or something like that, or they get heavy into crypto, or they start traveling, whatever. Maybe they become like a quasi passport bro kind of thing, or they basically just learn game and they just enjoy their life. Right? Those are the guys in the middle, those guys who are making, $70, $80, $90,000 a year, maybe up to $150,000 a year. Those are the dudes. Once they get wrecked, they're like, all right, I don't want to play this game no more. Those are the guys who go hardcore, going their own way, right? Because they see the problem. And then imagine that, like, you're doing all this stuff. You meet this woman, you think she's the one. 7 years down the road, boom, you get wrecked. Now you got to get back into the dating field, and the dating field is this? Oh, no, he's definitely going to say the juice is not worth the squeeze. Period. He's not going to want to do it. He's not going to want to do it. Look at me, single guy. I'm not looking to get married. You know what I mean? I'm raising my daughter, man. Raising my daughter. I look at it, I got like right around 4 years. 4 to 5 years, done. After that, come on now. You'd be hard pressed to find me in America. Come on now. I'm gone. Does that mean I'm not messing with women? No. Does that mean I don't mess with American women? No. If I meet an American woman while I'm in Japan, I'll holler at her. If I meet an American woman while I'm in Paris, yeah, I'll holler at her. Colombia, Brazil, Paraguay. Like if I bump into a Canadian or an Australian or, some woman from the UK, that's cool. You know what I mean? I ain't having no more babies. I'm not doing no long-term nothing. It's going to be fun. We're going to have a good time. And then boom, I'm off to the next country. That's kind of going your own way, isn't it? A little bit. You know what I mean? Brother Scam Likely, whoever says it hasn't changed is a damn liar. Yeah, bro. A lot of people say it hasn't changed at all, man. He's talking about the dating game. Whoever says the dating game hasn't changed, bro, they are delusional. Our drizzle, MGTOW is a way of life that helps men unplug from the matrix. I mean, that's one way of looking at it. Like I said, there are variants to it, man. It's like everything else, man. There's levels to it. You got some guys, some dudes like Joker. Shout out to Joker, man. Better Bachelor. Shout out to Joker. You got guys like Joker who are like, Joker's not a tall man. Right? Like small in stature, but you know what I mean? He's fit, he's smart, he knows how to make money. Joker wanted to have that. He wanted to find a wife, he wanted to have kids, he wanted to do all that stuff. But then as he continued to go and grow in this world, and Joker's a little old, he's not quite as old as me, but he's older. He realized like, yo, man, this isn't adding up. This isn't really worth the risk. Why would I do all this? And then, like, if it goes bad, there's nothing you can really do to protect yourself, really. So you got guys like Joker who sit back and he's like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to mess with women, but I'm tired of being, harassed by the government. Like these people that they're doing all these things, they're making me I can't even live. This is supposed to be the land of the free and the home of the brave, right? Like we're supposed to be free in America. We're not free here. We're not free. You know what I mean? So someone like Joker, he was like, I ain't worth it. Then you got people like Myron and Fresh, right? Young guys, they're not as young. They're not young kids. They're not in their 20s anymore. But Myron and Fresh, they're like, we see the game for what it is. Couple guys, they were nerds, like slow starters. But now they are, dude, in the candy store. They are in the candy store. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to watch Fresh and Fit. And Myron hasn't talked about the candy store in quite a while. Maybe you can find some episodes out there, because I know they got a ton of content. You might be able to just type in Fresh and Fit candy store and it should come up when he talks about the candy store. Listen, they are in the candy store and they are loving life right now. Good for them. They worked themselves up. They made the right moves. They put themselves in a position where women are attracted to them because they have the status, they have the money, they have the lifestyle, they have the clout, they have all that stuff now. They were doing well before, but they got it all now. Killing the game. So they in the candy store and they getting as much Foxy Brown as they want, almost whenever they want. It's never as easy as just snapping your finger and getting it. No matter how much clout or money or fame or influence the man has, it's very, very difficult for a man to just snap his fingers like Fonzie on Happy Days and have a bunch of beautiful women run up on him like, hey, you're coming with me. That's a fantasy. Idris Elba. Women go crazy when you mention his name. They see him in real life, man, they go crazy. And that most women won't smash him on the very first night. They won't. Because they trying to marry that dude. They're going to make him work to get it. Unlike women, you can have a woman who's a straight up 3, 4. She could be overweight, everything, ugly looking, terrible attitude. Snap her fingers. Hey, who want this Foxy Brown? 4 dudes right there. 4 of them. Ready to go. You know what I mean? Or Drizzle. Oh, we talked about that. Yeah, men, there's the way to unplug from the Matrix. I see that. And there are some dudes who they're thinking like that too. Kind of. That's why I brought up Joker. He's kind of looking at the big pictures, not just women with Joker. It is the big ball of wax, man. It is the Matrix. He's like, nah, I'm tired of this, and he's ready to move on. Miss AKA lady, nah, he shouldn't go his own way. He should learn from the situation and choose better. A healthy relationship is stronger than being single if you can find a good one. See this, and Miss AKA lady, this is where men and women, we don't think the same. A dude can be alone. A dude can go out there, live his best life, do his thing, right? And keep a couple on the side. He can smash here and there or whatever. It's not a big thing for dudes. There's some dudes that go out there and get wrecked because it takes so much energy, so much hard work to build that up, and to have the government come along and take half or more. It's really more. You know what I mean? It's not just half. Like to lose a home, to lose a condo, to lose half of your car collection, to lose half of your baseball collection, to lose, you know what I mean? Like to lose your watch. Let's say you had your dad passed you down a watch collection, to lose half of that, or have to come up with the money to buy it back. There's some dudes that get punished. They get smited for real. And they're like, you know what? It's not worth it. Real talk. It's not worth it. I've been hit pretty hard. I know guys who've been hit way harder than me when it comes to this whole family court thing. Way harder than me. Some of those guys will run out and they'll get married again. You got some guys like me, like, man, I ain't never getting married. Then you have some guys that are like, I don't even want to deal with no more women. It just depends. Depends on the guy. Like, they don't need it. And I ain't gonna lie to you, Miss AKA lady, it's not worth it. It really isn't worth it. In today's market, it is so hard to find a good woman. Like you seem like a really cool, down to earth, cool woman. Miss Globe Girl. You know what I mean? Same thing. Look, Sister Candace. By the way, where is Sister Candace? I wonder where she at. Sister Candace. You know what I mean? Suzette Speaks. There's so many. Coach K from over on Black Man Unfiltered Network. Shout out to Black Man Unfiltered. You know what I mean? Shout out to Suzette Speaks. Shout out to Melanie King. Go over there and check out their platforms, y'all. You know what I mean? Shout out to brother JT and Rob, What We Know podcast, man. Shout out to them. But there are some good women out there. We're not saying that they're not there. It's just a lot of dudes are just like, they don't want to hunt for them. And that's what Brother Rich Cooper means. Like, the juice isn't worth the squeeze because it takes so much to squeeze it out. Hey, man, it ain't worth it, bro. It ain't worth it. I ain't gonna lie to you. I love it when I go to Miami or Atlanta or New York, or when LA gets better, I'll go back to LA. Right now it's pretty horrible. But Dallas, DC, I love it when I go and just go for a weekend or whatever, you know what I mean, a short week or a long weekend, however you want to put it. And I'll meet up with some people and have a great time. Man, that is amazing. That is amazing. I'd much rather do that than deal with the work it takes to maintain a relationship. The give, the take, the stuff you got to deal with. Man, look, I ain't gonna lie to you. I much rather just have my little excursions. Shoot down to Miami, shoot down to Fort Lauderdale. You know what I mean? Shoot over to Orlando, shoot up to DC, Atlanta. You know what I mean? New York, do some comedy, have a good time, hang out with some cool people, eat, drink, and be merry. And then come on, you know what I mean? And then come up on Mary. She might holler at you like, you know what? You're kind of cool. You know what I mean? I want to come hang out with you. Bet. Get a little bit of that in there. High five, Mary. Good game. She goes back to her boyfriend or whatever relationship she's in, because most of the time they are in relationships. Just keep it 100. Just keeping it 100. You know what I mean? And I come back to my life here. I much rather do it that way at 52 years old than go out here and try to actually get into a relationship. Again, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. Don't get me wrong, Miss AKA Lady. I've tried it a couple times. It just isn't worth the squeeze. The past few times it's just like, why? Like, why did I even attempt this? The juice isn't worth the squeeze. But you got to understand, I'm an old dude. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm good. I'm cool. Now, 5 years from now, 8 years from now, you know, will that change? Who knows? Maybe, but it'll never be like going out here trying to own a hunt kind of thing. Once I get closer to 60, it's more of just finding someone, again, who had that great conversation. Maybe I got to find me some 50-year-old, 55-year-old who's like, oh, this is a good conversation. We, you know what I'm saying? We like the same kind of oatmeal or something. We sit around and eat the same kind of oatmeal. You know what I mean? Like, but as far as MGTOW goes, going my own way, yeah, I'm going my own way. I'm doing it my own way. You know what I'm saying? It's because, yeah, you get tired of it. You get tired of it. Miss AKA Lady Nation goes on. I read that. All right, Drizzle, marriage only benefits women. There's no reason for men to get married. I cannot argue that point. I mean, here's the thing. Marriage can be mutually beneficial. It can be. Real talk. Marriage can be mutually beneficial. It's just, if it doesn't work, if you find yourself in the 50 percentile that gets divorced, yeah, the dude's probably going to lose. Now, here's the thing. Family court is based on money. And we had Brother Perry Davis was on here a few weeks ago. And that's my buddy from Cincinnati. You know, he's been practicing law for a very long time. He's very successful, very good attorney, does a lot of family law. It's based on who earns the most. So if you're going to get married today, and I say this to my young dudes and middle-aged dudes, if you're going to get married, find you one of those, you know what I mean, college graduate women who's making more than you, run your game, right? Be there. Because when she can't get that high value dude she's trying to get, when she can't get the top tier guy, all she's going to get is her back blown out or whatever. Then she'll come to you, marry her. Marry her. Stay at home. You should work from home. Watch the kids. You know, help her, support her so she can make more money. Make her life at home easy so she can get the next promotion and encourage her to work harder, right? Then if she decides to divorce you, you getting half of her pension. You're getting half of her 401k. She's going to have to pay you alimony. And you're probably going to get the kids. She's going to have to pay you child support, whether you get full custody or not. Let's say you get 50%, it's 50-50 custody. But because she makes so much money, she's still going to have to pay you child support. So in that situation, Brother R. Drizzle, right? Marriage could benefit men. But again, men got to be smart. Men got to plan that out. But as it stands today, I have to agree with you. Most men get wrecked. Let me drop the link in here. case anybody want. I know Dusto's gonna want to come up here and talk crazy. So the link's there. We pinned it to the top. If anyone want to jump in on this one, you are definitely welcome to jump in on this one. But yeah, brother, R Drizzle, yeah, man. Marriage only benefits women. There's no reason for men to get married, but men need to think about it. You know what I mean? And if you're a guy who has a little bit of something, and you should absolutely look at the prenup. But I tell dudes all the time, like, look, if you're going after a woman today, go after a woman who's making money. There are a lot of women, 6 figures and more, that are lonely as I don't know what. And the problem is they can't find the guy that they find financially attractive. So you're going to have to use your game to overcome from the financial shortcoming, get into her head. I mean, you're going to have enough money to be able to wine and dine her and stuff like that. But, you know what I mean? If you messing with a junior executive with Procter & Gamble or Chase Bank or whoever, man, get with her, bro. Get with her. Right? If you find yourself in a situation where you make less and you guys have been married about 6-7 years and she didn't have you sign a prenup, you know what I mean? You're going to get breaded up. You're going to get paid just like Kelly Clarkson's ex-husband got paid. Right? You know, you're looking at look at the high earning women out there. Mary J. Blige, Halle Berry, Kelly Clarkson, they all have to pay child support, and it's a lot of money. I think Jennifer Lopez was paying child support, even though she's married now. You know, what Britney Spears. Right? So, I mean, you don't have to reach that high. I mean, if you can shoot that high, and more power to you. But just find your woman who's out there getting paid, making it happen in corporate America. And don't let her quit. Don't let her quit, bro. You tell her you quit. I quit. I'll stay home with the kids. I'll stay home and take care of this house. Don't let her quit. But R Drizzle was right. Generally speaking, men historically have gotten crushed in marriage. Miss AKA, that's why I said if you can find a good one, men live longer when I'm in, let me see. Men live longer when in good relationships. I think that's what you meant. Men live longer when in good relationships. A bad relationship is destructive. Agreed. And don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, y'all. When you're in a good relationship, like Miss AKA lady says, it is the best feeling in the world. It really is. It's amazing. You know what I mean? The quality time, and you know, y'all doing y'all thing, having y'all fun. You got the kids. It's such a great thing. If you can find that. If you find that, it's a great thing. Half of the people who get married, they find that. And half don't. And of the 50% that don't get divorced, we all know that all of those people, that entire cohort is not happy. Some of them are separating this down to third, but we're gonna push that off to the side. We're not here to talk about that. We're talking about men going their own way. So it's one of those things where, you know, if you're not making money, gentlemen, go ahead and smash. Do you. There's nothing you can lose. Go out there, learn the game. Do your thing. Oh, we got Brother Viking in the house. That's what's up. I got to bring you right up, bro. Ain't nobody playing. What's good, fam? How you feeling?
Can you hear me all right?
Yes, sir. Good, loud and clear, man. How you feeling, man?
Feeling pretty good. So we're talking about MGTOW today. So like I mentioned in the chat, I've witnessed the evolution of MRA into MGTOW, right? And as the name implies, men going their own way. Why are they going their own way? Well, from the failed MRA movement, men's rights activists, right? Starting with like Dr. Warren Farrell and whatnot, and other, even women trying to bring up the biology of the sexual dimorphism between men and women and how our brains work differently, how we perceive, speak differently. There's context and nuance there that is lost on a lot of people. So from my perspective, I was in a long-term relationship when the MGTOW movement came around. And the issue is that they didn't give me any actionable advice to actually solve my relationship. The advice was leave her. She's not compliant. Get rid of her. Move on. She's just going to screw you over. And that was
MRA. And that was MRA saying that, like, just leave her.
No. That was the result of guys sort of adopting this MGTOW mentality.
Okay.
Because men going their own way is men going their own way away from women, right? It's kind of like how women say, I'm strong and independent. Independent of what? Men, right?
Yes.
MGTOW is basically the same version, but for the men's side. Okay. So even you saying that you're going your own way, but you're still dabbling on the side with women, most MGTOW guys would not agree with that. They would say that's too much of a risk. The juice isn't worth the squeeze, even for that. So even you are not being truly MGTOW by doing that. You're interacting with women on a consistent basis, and you're getting something out of it. They say typically there's two movements that spawned out of the failed MRA movement when they realized that society wasn't going to change, the rules weren't going to change to fit their need, right? And that was MGTOW and Black Pill, right? And that's where you got these two movements from, where it's doom and gloom. They don't want to take accountability for the fact that they need to be the leader. That's what I see. And that's why I don't really vibe with either one of those movements, because when I found the red pill, they actually gave me actionable advice, right? So I could actually fix myself, which then my girl just fell into line. So when guys say it's not worth the squeeze, it's like, well, you've never really tasted true victory. You've never really done the work. Shout out to Rich Cooper, right? Most of these guys just haven't done the work of figuring out how to vet women correctly and doing the work of actually, figuring that stuff out. Level up, basically. And so that's why I kind of have an issue with it.
And you okay? So I was gonna ask you that, because I'm like, okay, so you're definitely anti, I guess, men's right activist movement, and then when it morphed into MGTOW and Black Pill, so you're like, nah, those dudes just gave up. It sounds to me that you're saying those dudes are quitters. Man, screw them.
Yeah, because I agree with the men's rights movement. Like, there are serious issues in society right now where the scale has shifted far to one side, right? There's no balance, right? We went from imbalance on one side to imbalance on the other, right? And that's not finding balance. That's just one extreme to the other. That's vengeance. That's retribution, basically. That's not trying to find a compromise. So that's why I don't really vibe with it, because like I said, I was in a relationship. If I'd taken the MGTOW, the MRA, the Black Pill advice, I would have left my girl and my son would have been without a home. And right now, I've been in this relationship for 13 years. 10 of that was blue pilled. The last 3, now 4, coming up on 4 years of that has been red pilled. And my girl follows suit. Why? And she's the breadwinner, by the way, right? She's the one making all the money. But I am the one that directs everything. I'm the one that makes all the final decisions. My say is the final say. Not because I'm a domineering a-hole or anything like that, but because I took up that mantle of the masculine burden of performance. I have to perform as a man each day. I was just talking to some guys in the Fresh and Fit Discord about this very topic before I saw you went live, ironically. And they were even saying, I was saying, oh, your girl will follow you. She will change her political views to align with yours if you are that man. And they're just like, well, that sounds like a lot of work. And that's the thing, that always the pushback that I hear is that, like I said, the juice isn't worth the squeeze, and that's a lot of work. But the thing is, if you actually do the work on the front end, it's actually less work. See, the thing is, too many guys are doing too much in their relationship, right? They care too much. They put too much effort in. And the funny thing is like I tell guys all the time, less is more with women. They always say, oh, it's little things that count with women. That's because, as shout out to Myron's new book, Why Women Deserve Less. He's right, because less is more to women. The more you put in, the more you overinvest, the more you look weak and thirsty. So you actually need to withdraw your attention, make it scarce, right? And that's what makes your woman value you more, because if you're that guy, you're too busy to worry about what she's, freaking out about when she's in her feelings for that day, right? You be there for her.
Just for that moment, not even the whole day. When she's in her feelings for just that moment, Brother Viking is cooking tonight. This is for you, bro, for being the breadwinner, for doing the work. Don't go nowhere. I just had to give you a clap. We got Scam Likely. Brother Dusto has joined the panel. Brother Dusto, I saw you was patiently waiting, man. What do you have to say about all this?
What's going on? Can you hear me loud and clear? I'm actually driving.
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Cool. I'm gonna call Dust on this topic. I actually don't come from the gloom and doom factory of there's a man, he exists, and he wants a woman, and he wants to find true love and all that kind of stuff. And I don't identify with blue, black, crack pill, none of that. Things just are what they are. But a lot of the space, they tell them, oh, these modern women are gonna get you. Whoa, divorce. Whoa. You ain't even talked to the woman yet. And you got all the child support laws for 15 different states. And you ain't even went and said hi to the woman yet. And most important thing is, can you attract the woman? And does she actually like you and want to be there? What type of person is this? When women like and they really love you and stuff, they do what they can to be there. That's where they want to be. You don't have to work, then you don't have to worry so much about, but they change. Whoa, divorce.
So, like,
but it's a lot of ducking and shucking and jiving, and what a modern woman said. And most of these techniques and tactics are based on the woman that you shouldn't be dealing with anyway.
So you bring up a good point. I wanted to jump in real quick because, like I said earlier, there's certain dudes that don't have to worry about going their own way. The guys who don't do the work, the dudes at the bottom of the bottom 80, the guys who've given up, it's kind of like what Brother Viking is saying right here. We're not talking about them dudes, right? So when I hear you talking, like Dusto, when I hear you talking, I agree with you. These guys, the guys you're talking about, I don't even really let them speak. I tell them to sit down and listen because you're hitting on some good points. And it's what Brother Viking just said. You have to do the work first, right? You're worried about child support. Like, bro, you making $35,000 a year. Your child support going to be 15 cents, bro. You ain't making no money. Right?
Actually, I'm even talking about the guys who qualify to go and get some ladies. They qualify for ladies and they qualify for marriage. I got a couple friends that I've been roasting, personal friends outside of YouTube. I've been giving hell to because they keep sending me message from modernwomen.com. Oh, look at this one. I'm like, dude, if you want to ask your wife or be around women who are doing right, why are you on these crazy modernwomen.com marinating into it? Or the dudes like the MGTOW, whatever it is. Wives are at the top and you only need one. Once you get one, you ain't got to worry about none of this junk.
Now,
but
this
why
is where we diverge.
Turn that in? But why would you trade that to go out and run out and bang 36 modern women who you know? Now you got 36 risks, and you know that they're on risk.com. They got kids at home. They missed the date on Tuesday because it was in child support court ragdolling another man. Why would a person volunteer to go play in the street? And they can get women. Now you spread the risk out more, and you're dealing with the woman who will never be wise.
Well, here's the thing, Brother Dusto. Here's the thing. We're talking about guys who can get women, but they don't respect the game. A lot of these dudes, they'll be in the red pill, community. Like Brother Viking was saying, man, they'll be in the Fresh and Fit Discord. They'll be on Rich Cooper's show. They'll be on, they'll be, sending in super chats to Rolo Tomasi. Shout out to Rolo. You know what I mean? They'll be doing all that because here's the thing. It's their fault. Like you said, they went out, they married a woman. They didn't vet her properly. They pedestalized her. They did everything you're not supposed to do. She divorced him. He got wrecked going through the family court system. And now he was like, well, I'm going to go out here and spend place. I'm going to go out here and do this, that, and the third. All right, that's fine. But it doesn't change the fact that you still haven't done the work. You still haven't understood the game and accepted the game for what it is. And now you getting wrecked, and it's her fault. It's that woman, she took this money. First of all, she didn't take a dime, right? It was the government that took that money. And I want to give Brother Viking an opportunity to comment on this, bro. Where do you stand with all this right now between what Brother Dusto and I are talking about?
Well, the issue that I always have is that, for instance, for me, I'm in an LTR, long-term relationship, right? So I'm not married because my grandfather always told me never sign a one-sided contract. And I looked at the marriage contract and I saw it was one-sided and I never signed it. I'm like, and I was even given money by family members, just go down to the courthouse and just get it done. And I'm like, no, she's not compliant enough. She's always giving me pushback. So I don't really believe in marriage in terms of an institution, right? Because it is a one-sided contract. Anybody that says otherwise hasn't read the contract. Men are not incentivized to do it. It's a fail-safe for any time a woman wants to leave, so that way she can pull the rug and be free and clear without any issues, which is fine because the justification is for the betterment of the children, right? But once again, men are not incentivized to do it. There's nothing for a man. He gets all the responsibility without any of the authority, right? For me, I took back the authority in my relationship, and I just said, comply or goodbye. I literally told my girl that, the Rollo Tomasi line. I said, look, we've been doing it this way for this many years, and it hasn't worked. Now we're going to do it my way. None of this 50-50 crap. I'm going to make all the decisions. And as I said, my girl is the breadwinner. I'm not the breadwinner yet, but I'm on a path thanks to her support that is allowing me to do that. And for me, I still am messing around on the side. I'm not going to cap and lie about that. As a matter of fact, my girl learned about my escapades down in Miami because of something that Fresh said on his stream. Once again, what does Rollo say? Discovery trumps disclosure. And she doesn't have a problem with this at all. Why? Because I work on my frame every day. The biggest problem that guys have is that even the guys that put in the work on the front end, stop doing it after they get that relationship. That was the mistake that I made. I was a Chad when all that, was going down, the social proof and all that, how I got the girl. Once I got the girl, I started doing all the blue pill stuff, and that led to failure of the relationship. My girl stopped being compliant, and it was argument after argument after argument after argument. I am a 10th degree black belt in arguing with women. And I learned that just like when you get in fighting isn't worth it typically. I tell guys all the time, don't confront, redirect. And that's what I do all the time with my girl. If she's getting her feelings, I redirect her. I don't try to say, stop that, and start calling her expletives, right? That's a waste of time, a waste of energy. I found that by me just doing the work every day and being the man I'm supposed to be in terms of a traditional biological sense, I get superior results, and it takes less effort because I'm only doing maintenance now, right? Anytime my girl it's in her feelings and shit tests me, I just back it off and let her get through her feelings. And when she gets into her logical state, then I can reason with her. But most guys don't have the patience or the determination to make that happen. And this is why most men suffer in any type of relationship, if that makes sense.
It does make sense. So let me ask you this, and I'm gonna bring Brother Dusto back up. Let me ask you this: when we talk about exercising options, is this something that you talk to your wife, or I guess she was even a girlfriend at the time, up front and say, "Hey, this is what I'm doing," or is that something that happened after Fresh's stream? I'm gonna have to holler at Fresh, bro.
No, that was something that already was discussed. Because once again, the hardest part about being in a relationship with a woman for guys is being honest and still being able to maintain your frame. And the thing is, if your girl really desires you, she's going to stay no matter what. If she doesn't desire you, she's going to leave if you're honest with her about what you want. I've been honest with my woman 100%. That's why she wasn't surprised. But I didn't come back from my trip and rub it in her face. Be like, yeah, I had some fun in the VIP room with a Fresh and Fit t-shirt on with some stripper, right? And I had Fresh DHV that for me inadvertently. And Fresh, this will be breaking news. Fresh doesn't even know I had the merch on when that happened. I had it on under my button up, so the stripper didn't even realize it until she unbuttoned my shirt. And she recognized it too. I saw the look in her eye, right? So I'm giving you a scoop here. I haven't talked about this publicly, but there it is. I had some fun, and I don't cap about anything that I do. I tell guys in the Fresh and Fit Discord all the time, transparency is my shield and truth is my weapon. All I need to do is be honest, and I save so much time and energy by just telling the truth.
And I know I said I was going to bring up Dusto. I'm going to ask just one last thing, and then we'll get Brother Dusto into this. Would you suggest this for most men, or is this something that you can pull off? Would you say that most men could pull this off or not?
I would say that it's possible because I wasn't able to do this with my ignorance. Right? It wasn't until I educated myself, took personal accountability, hit the gym, started getting in shape. From anybody that doesn't know, I started my fitness journey in Modern Life Dating John's group where I first met Myron. I've actually known Myron longer than Fresh has, FYI. So I started that fitness journey at 253 pounds. I'm 5'9", so I was pretty plump, right? As of today, my weigh-in this morning, I was 172.6. Okay. So I've lost a ton of weight, and that's actually, I went all the way down to 152 and built myself back up with muscle, lean mass, right? Thanks to Myron's info. And that's why I volunteered my internet stuff to Fresh and Fit in the first place, right? I fixed both Myron and Fresh's stream now, thanks to my expertise. So I wouldn't say that everybody can do it, but I'd say anybody has a good chance if they're willing to educate themselves and do the work. You know, it's what's on the poster back here. Learn, adapt, win. You got to learn and adapt to win. So you have to do academic work, study, then you have to make action, and that's how you win. If you don't do that equation in that order, you're going to fuck up the math and you're going to have a bad time.
And I'm going to let Brother Dusto jump in here, man. And like I said, hey, guys, it's player versus player out there. So whatever your technique is, more power to you. And shout out to you, Brother Viking, for and thank you for sharing all that. Brother Dusto, man, what's your take on all that?
Exercising option. That's what you call a one-sided contract, where man says, I want to have a family, I want to marry, I want to be in a relationship, but also want to do what I want to do. So if a woman decides, I'm going to start to, I'm going to start not like an STD.
Hey, we're losing you, bro. I think you're going through a bad area.
It's all one-sided. I don't understand how. You can't hear me?
It's better now. Go ahead.
Can you
You
hear
don't
me at all?
understand how what? Yeah, we can hear you now. You don't understand how what? All right, we lost Dusto, y'all. We lost Dusto. So, I hear where he was coming from. I think a lot of people, when they hear men talk about exercising options and they don't like it, I'm like, that's fine. That's your business. You don't have to do it, right? And I'll tell you this, Brother Viking, and I'm not lying. This is no cap. I've never been in a relationship, an established relationship, where I exercise options. I choose not to do that, but that's just me. I understand men who do exercise options. And that's why I asked you that question. Like, well, does your significant other understand and accept it? And it sounds like she does.
Yeah, she does completely. You know, she's been on this red pill journey with me, and she's seen, you know, what I can do and what my potential was. That's why she bet on me. You know, as Rich Cooper says, women, you know, wait at the finish line. But the thing is, there are some women that bet on a horse that they think will win before they see the results, right? And she was one of those smart girls that, you know, one of those good girls they talk about, you know, where she was a country girl and all this stuff. But the thing is, she wasn't ignorant, and she was a little bit of a hoe. I'm not going to cap about that either. But the thing is, when she saw me, she saw a future prize, right? Rather than me seeing her as the prize. The only reason why I did the blue pill stuff was because everybody told me this is how it should be. Oh, you shouldn't be exercising options. See, we'll go back through the history of feminism. Feminism, well, it may be an extension of propaganda. It's actually an extension of female nature. As you mentioned before or earlier in the stream, is that inadvertently feminism has given the top men all the options again, which is what it used to be like, where it was all the top dogs, the kings, the conquerors that got all the women, right? And the thing is that feminism has just basically gone back to the way it was before we had enforced monogamy, right? You know, and yeah, you can choose to be monogamous if you want to. I don't have a problem with that either. But the thing is that when you don't exercise options, your girl's going to start to feel like other women don't want you. So unless you have a way of demonstrating that other women do want you, she's going to feel like she's not getting a good deal. So you could say that, oh, that's a one-sided contract. But the thing is that my girl still agreed to it. It doesn't matter if most women wouldn't. The thing is that I vetted a girl that would. So that took work and time. Once again, I went through multiple women that I was, you know, kind of not messing around with, because I was a good Christian boy up until I was 23, but I still had options, but none of them were appealing. I actually used to think there was something wrong with me because I wasn't attracted to a lot of the women that were around me, either because they were overweight or because they were non-compliant. I didn't realize that I genuinely wanted a fit, compliant woman that I could teach. You know, a lot of guys use the term train and a lot of women get triggered by it, but teach. I take a mentorship role, not a daddy role. I take a mentorship role with my woman. So I teach her things. She can learn things to me. I'm a superior to her in every way. And this is what continues to stoke the fires of attraction. Even after they went out for so long, I was able to rekindle that fire in the relationship by being willing to exercise options, by willing to put myself out there, gain the clout, right? And actually offer value to valuable people like yourself. Right. I haven't just, offered my skills to any Joe Schmo out there. I only offer what I can do, my unique internet skills, to people that are actually offering value to the world at large. I hope that makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense, and I appreciate it, bro. And pretty soon I will definitely be hollering at you. Like, I'm going to have to bring you up here. Not quite yet. But give me a couple more quarters. And I do want to ask you this one last thing. We got Brother Dusto back. I want to ask you this. When you say train or teach, whichever term we want to use here, teach, like you said, because we don't want to trigger people. When you're teaching your woman, you're teaching her how to be with you, or are you just teaching her how to be with men? Because I know there's a lot of people who are going to have that in their mind. So which is it?
Well, every man wants different things in life. So I just tell my girl what I want and how I want her to do it, right? If I tell her to do something, I take the extra effort to give her the instructions so that way I know she knows how to please me. See, that's the thing. A lot of guys don't want to do that extra effort to actually put a woman on their program by telling them what they actually want and how they want it done. I take that time to do that. That's the effort that I put into my relationship. But then I expect results. And if I don't get the results that I want, I will tell her that I didn't get the results that I wanted. And because she wants to please me, she will correct herself. And if she needs to, she will ask for further clarification. So that's what I mean by mentorship, is that I'm teaching her what I need from her, how she can add value to my life and fortify me to be the man that she's in love with.
That's what's up, man. Brother Dusto, we're going to bring you up here in 1 second. I wanted to answer this question. Miss AKA lady. Oops, wrong one. I didn't want to answer that one. I want to answer this one. She's like, why do you choose not to exercise options? Well, let me put it this way. If I were to be the type of options, I will state that up front. So y'all, like, me and Melanie King have this ongoing dialogue about having a rotation, spinning plates, whatever term you want to use. We have this ongoing this ongoing conversation. And she's like, I can't believe that you tell women that they're number 3 of 6 and they just get in place. I'm like, yeah, they do. So if I were to exercise option with the woman that I'm married to, I would tell her up front, this is what I'm going to do. The reason I don't exercise options is because the way most men do it, the majority of men, they cheat and they lie. To me, it's not cheating if you tell them up front. This is what it is, take it or leave it. And it's kind of like what Brother Viking is saying. You know what I mean? This is what it is, take it or leave it. Now, if you say, you're the only one, I'm going to forsake all others in sickness and health and rich or poor and all that, and you make that promise to your God or deity in front of your family, to me, that's you gave your word to do those things. And now you breaking your word. And that's not honorable. It is far more honorable, in my opinion, to be upfront and tell and let the women you dealing with choose than to lie to them. But most guys are going to lie because dudes are greedy and they're selfish, and women are greedy and they're selfish. And this is part and parcel of why we're here where we are right now. Brother Dusto is back, man. We lost you for a second, man. I'm like, wait, you sound like you was driving on Mars.
Yeah, I was driving.
So I know you wanted to jump back in here and finish what you were talking about.
Yeah, and this ain't no personal shots, but I mean, I speak mainly towards the topic. It's not personal.
Come on now, we ain't dusty over here, bro. We grown up, man. We can handle this shit now.
No, I got you. No,
this man about his business Viking right here, bro. You know he don't give a shit.
No, it's cool because all I heard was I, my, I, my, I, my, I, my, I. When there's a family in place, family comes first. Meaning you're willing to put your life on the line for the family, put them in the best situation. That's resources, time, energy, everything. Growth, energy, resources, emotions, everything. When you step outside, there were resources spent in Miami. There was energy. Something was given somewhere else, which means you're only given 70, 86, and the percentage is going to keep wavering of what you're giving to your household. Why would you offer somebody less and then ask them to do more? And how wrong would they be if they just say, you know what?
They're gonna be open because they're gonna exercise the option to start doing cocaine Tuesdays and Fridays. And they're gonna openly do it right there on the kitchen table. Because now I guess they're following the leader, and outside behavior of doing stuff all out here in the streets is acceptable. Or if the kids decide, well, it's okay to start drifting off over here and kids cutting school and making up our own rules and stuff. Which
all right, and I want to give Brother Viking an opportunity to respond to that. And thanks to both of y'all for jumping up, man. I appreciate it. A lot of people, man, they don't want to jump up on camera, man. I don't know why. But Brother Viking, what's the answer to that?
So it comes back to a concept Rollo talks about in his first book about enlightened self-interest. This concept is the same thing they teach you when you get on a plane, that you're supposed to put the oxygen mask on yourself first before you put it on others. Because if you pass out before you finish putting that oxygen mask on, you both die, right? So you cannot help others as well as you can if you don't help yourself first. So yes, I always come back to that mental point of origin about how does this benefit me, right? I'm not a sacrificial lamb. I'm a workhorse. And in order to do that, I need to be enabled. And so I tell my woman what I want. It's not just about me. My son benefits, my woman benefits. And yes, we did spend resources and put ourselves into some debt so that way I could fund the trip down to Miami. Why? So that way I could grow my network, do business with multimillionaires, get recognition, and grow my online profile and showcase what I can actually do. The Fresh and Fit podcast and even Fresh Prince CEO's channel runs off of my method for the internet, which actually boosts them in the algo. And this is something that I figured out myself a long time ago. And most people don't know that there's actually 2 algorithms that you're fighting on the YouTube platform. Okay. And if your internet connection is spotty, for even if it's not perceptible on your end, you will still suffer. Okay. So you are right that yes, me. Because I always remember that in order for me to benefit my family, I have to become stronger and be able to benefit those around me more by giving back to people who actually are helping others, right? That's the difference. Once again, shout out to Rollo. He talked about vetting gurus. How do you vet your gurus? You look at the people that give back versus the people, because everybody takes. We're human beings. In order to live, we have to take. But who actually takes the time and effort to give back? My girl benefits from that. Even if she may not see it, she trusts me. And in terms of like the cocaine thing, yeah, that still comes back to the masculine burden of performance. If I was doing drugs and I wasn't performing, she's going to leave me. And I've told her if I ever fall off like that again, to leave me, right? I don't just make this one-sided. It might seem one-sided, but this is my frame. This is my program. These are the people that I want to help that are helping others. I hope that makes sense.
I was talking about sticking your meat in them strippers. It ain't
I'll use protection.
It ain't supposed to be in there though. That's not where it's supposed to be in that woman. What's it doing down there?
And brother does, and this is just me playing devil's advocate. I just want to play devil's advocate. Who says it's not supposed to be there if that's their relationship?
There are consequences. Now we can justify this to whatever.
I'm not trying to justify it, but you get my point.
I'm talking about in general. I can go and pull out a book. Well, the book written in 1826 by Gandhi says that it's okay for a woman to do coke while she's pregnant, but as long as she drinks water, oxygen, that's what we're doing.
No, we're not doing that. My thing is this: you got 2 grown-ups who come to an understanding, an agreement. This is how it's going to go.
Hold on. Make that 3 grown-ups now, because you added somebody else, their emotions, and whatever happened there.
The third party has nothing. But here's the thing: the third party has nothing to do with what's going on in your home. Now, that's just part. That's outside, because we can't. We're not gonna add the entire planet, right? Because every time we go out, we interact with whatever. All I'm saying is, and I hear what you're saying. And again, I'm just pushing back a little bit because it goes back to Miss AKA's lady's question to me. Why don't I do what I do? And like I said, if the understanding is such that, hey, when I go here, this is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to take precaution. I'm going to be this, that, and the third, this, whatever. But this is what I'm going to do. And everyone agrees, everyone being me and her, we agree on it. It's not a problem. What I'm hearing from you is society saying that's wrong, therefore you shouldn't do it? Or Dusto's saying, I don't agree with your morality, therefore you shouldn't do it. Am I wrong here?
Well, of course, I'm not perfect, but I'm Christian. I assume there's some form of something followed, like whatever morals. Or is it just written and you just start making up stuff on the fly?
Again, it's one of those things where if it's understood, like brother Vikings Viking, like they Vikings get down different. He ain't trying to get in the house. He ain't trying to get in the heaven. He's going to Valhalla. You know what I mean? So you look at that, the way the Vikings move, and I'm just making a joke there. But I get what you're saying. But again, who am I to press upon you my virtues? Let's take it away from relationships and like sex. Let's take it into the realm of warfare and combat, right? Mm-hmm. Me and you have had this discussion. You know how I get down. You know how I roll. You know what I'm saying? You know, is there any doubt in your mind something pop off that I'm gonna get loud and do what I gotta do?
If I'm there, if there's any doubt, am I gonna try to prevent it from happening?
But you see my point there. You can try to prevent it, but it's not gonna, it is what it is. We understand how it's gonna go. You see what I mean? So that's all I'm saying. If whatever person in whatever home has that understanding, that's on them, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I can't tell him what to do. I mean, it's just open conversation.
Yeah.
I can't tell him what to do. At the end of the day, I'm not perfect either. But hearing the conversation, this is something that I would say. Okay. When you step outside, you're adding emotions, you're adding resources coming from the college fund. Now I went to stripper buns, or now I went to whatever. And one way or another is taking you off track.
Is it?
Nothing's free in America.
And again, just playing devil's advocate. Is it taking you off track?
I've seen this for the longest. And I've seen the men, well, I can just drift off. And 5 years into it, they done caught something, their meat caught on fire. They got 2 kids in the streets and all this extra. The woman, or it's just a mess. Or they ain't even attracted to the woman no more. Their brain is only wired for something unrealistic now.
All right.
I'm not saying this is him. I'm just putting it out there as conversation.
I get it. Yeah.
There's a form of things that is a higher percentage. If you stick closer to this, you'll be okay. But when you start going way over here and way out there and just doing, next thing you know, just out of control, then there's consequences. Go home. Ain't no women there. The kids out of control. Just, that's all I'm saying.
And I've seen that in real life. And it's funny, too, because I know people come and when y'all see Dusto be like on the dust panels putting in work. But over here, we get to see the real Dusto. That's why I appreciate you coming over here, bro. Brother Viking, man, what's your take on what we're talking about here?
Well, and we're talking about kind of religious morality, and I don't really, try to Bible thump for people. But fun fact about me, I'm a former reverend. I left the church due to the corruption. Okay, I won't even go into it. I guess some of the stuff I probably can't talk about. What I seen happened. So I didn't part ways with God. I realized the church had parted ways with God, and so I left. Right. That's why, I know where you're coming from. I know it in great detail. I accepted Jesus Christ into my heart as my Lord and Savior when I was 5 years old. Right. And then they wouldn't allow me to get baptized until I could legally pay money tithe to the church. Right. So they were going to try to make me wait until I was 18, even though by all pretense and purposes, they weren't basically practicing what they preached. And that's just the mild part of it. Doesn't even get into some of the other stuff that went on that, I could tell you DL Saint behind the scenes. But yeah, it was bad. And I've seen this. So what I did was I went down that path of Jesus Christ. I followed the example. I went amongst the whores and the sinners, and I talked to them. I've talked to other people from other religions, Islam, paganism, Satanist, devil worshippers, all of them. I went and talked to all of them because I knew because I read the Bible that if my faith was strong, nothing would shake it. And the Bible is right. Nothing shook my faith. I just learned how corrupt, as the saying goes, the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convince the world he didn't exist. Right. And that's what you see in the church. And I'm even warning my Muslim brothers right now, because I'm seeing the same thing that happened to Christianity 70 years ago happening to Islam right now. And it's a slow burn. Now, when it comes down to the consequences
world,
of my actions, I do accept yes, I understand what you mean. That I have thought about the consequences. I'm not a fool. I know you weren't implying that, but I do know that there could be consequences, right? And so I'm very careful about how I exercise options, right? It was very controlled circumstances, and that girl thought she was. That was the funny part. That's why I had the Fresh and Fit T-shirt on underneath, is because that woman thought she was going to finesse me out of some cash. She was trying to get me to charge Cash App and all this, messed up shit on the side and charge me more money. And all I did was pay for the private booth. And she did everything. She did the most to try to finesse me out of that money, promising me drugs and all this stuff. And I just let her do her thing because I know how the game is played, and I just outplayed her, right? So, once again, and that was not the majority. That was one night. That was like a Thursday night towards the end of my trip. And I was just like, yeah, let's have some fun. So I went out to the club and I had some fun, right? It was only my second time ever to a strip club. Right. And the first time was just a couple nights before that. Icy and Big Mo took me out to a strip club, and I got to have some fun there too. I didn't actually smash on that time, but had some fun. So
hate the game, baby.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I understand the consequences of my actions, and I could get other babies and stuff like that. And my girl and I have talked about this, and this is something else that might blow people's minds. She understands my understanding of the Bible too. And if you look at the Bible, it was very common for guys in the Bible, the higher ups, to have multiple wives or girls they were messing around with. That was a pretty consistent thing. Yeah, they weren't supposed to be doing that, but they were. And you see even Muslims that aren't supposed to do that stuff too, still doing that stuff. And there's, different versions of who follows what. Some say you can have 4 wives. Some say you can only have 1, right? So there's a lot of division in that regard as well. But, it kind of reminds me, I was reminded of when Jesus got mad when he went into the temple and they were selling the offerings, right? Basically negating the whole point, whitewashed sepulchres full of dead man's bones, right? So that's why I get away from religious morality and I look at the exact cause and effect to determine the outcomes, right? So as you said, there are consequences in terms of what my son, because we talked about family. I homeschool my son, right? My girl's the breadwinner. And the benefit to my girl being the breadwinner is that I get to stay home, grow my business, and also educate my son properly, give him real knowledge rather than the corrupted knowledge that's been put out in the school system that just teaches men and women to be good little worker bees for the hive mind. I'm not going to subject my son to that. So I give him real knowledge about the world and I just tell him how it is. Like I said, the hardest part, it seems, for people nowadays is to just be honest with themselves first and then others around them. I realized I was wasting so much time and energy on being deceptive and manipulative and dishonest with myself, and I just cut that stuff out. And it's been so much easier. These last 3 years have been basically heaven on earth, right? And that's why my new goal is not looking forward to heaven afterlife. It is to try to create heaven on earth here and now, not just for myself or my family, but for others as well. I hope that makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense. And I want to real quick, I know Dusto, I know you got something you want to say, but real quick, Miss AKA Lady got something for you. It's right here. This is at you. You seem to have a family-oriented traditional mindset. Do you want to be in a relationship? If so, why do you think you're single? Get your hand off the button. And she says, DL, I'm not hollering. We know you are. That's Miss AKA. Miss AKA Lady. Holla, 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 holla. She a good woman, bro. but that question was for you. So you want to give her an answer, and then I know you wanted to respond to Brother Viking.
Easy answer. Yes, I'd like to be in a relationship. When I find the person I'm supposed to be in a relationship with, I'm going to be in one. Why am I still single? Because I'm not in a relationship. Yeah, well, it's a smaller platform. I'll put this out here. I wasn't the person that you see now. I had opportunities and great people put in front of me. Like, worse is that I had a woman who anything I said, she just wanted to be with me and made that very clear. What does she got to do to make this work? She'll do it. And I let it pass. Of course, she's married. Another one, I didn't know how to properly communicate with. She was everything on a silver platter, but of course, those come with a higher price. The price I needed to pay was I needed to grow emotionally and know how to communicate better. I didn't communicate properly. I didn't know how to listen or be an effective listener. or provide her with emotional stability. She was gone. But these are great women. They're probably all married. So I can say, hey, I found wives. I just got to do this one more time and it's a wrap.
All right.
But to Viking, all I was going to say is this, and salute to you. At the end of the day, you're doing a lot. I just wouldn't want to see, because it could be, and I'm not Mr. Doom and Gloom, but there's nothing you can say if you're in a studio in Miami, police come in there, excuse me, they had a report of somebody doing some cocaine. Oh, it's his. He's selling it to. Nothing you can say. How can you justify what you're doing down there anyway? And it's going to be a problem. Or you can't, there's nothing that good can happen from being in the wrong place. And you can lose any and everything. I've seen this happen to people.
No, agreed. I mean, it almost happened to you. Then you come walking out of some spot that got you know what I'm saying? They got crazy. Then you just miss it.
Oh yeah, I went home to Chesapeake. I went to Walmart. 2 hours later, mass shooting, 7 people killed.
Same like Walmart you just walked out of.
Yeah, and I was just going back home to visit. Yep.
And the only reason I brought that up.
Yeah,
right. The only reason I brought that up, bro.
Can't happen. But some stuff you can't. But some stuff you can control. What you doing there? Could you have taken that one day and said, you know what? I'm gonna go to sleep early tonight.
Or I'm gonna go to Target. In your case, I'm gonna go to Target. It's the same thing, bro. That's the only point. It's the same. Here's the thing. And the only reason I bring it up, the way I see it, it is the same. Like the stuff I've seen, and like I was always raised that, you know what I mean, good guys always win and bad guys always lose. And you know, growing up the way I grew up and then seeing what I've seen and then going off to be the good guy with us Army on my shirt, right? When I went and I earned these wings behind me and I did the government's bidding. Nah, bro. Good guys aren't always good and bad guys aren't always bad, right? That's all subjective to the person watching. You feel me? And like we talk about the Bible, y'all know I am the friendly neighborhood heathen. However, I do know this. Didn't King David send a man to his death so David can have his wife? Y'all Bible people, tell me if I'm right or wrong.
No, there was a lot. No, what people are saying is, well, they had this in the Bible. Yeah, they also chop people's heads off. They still do that today. But my point is this: that doesn't mean that we're supposed to do it.
No, my point is this: human nature hasn't changed since Adam and Eve got bounced from the Garden of Eden. Human nature hasn't changed since Cain and Abel had their drama. Human nature hasn't changed since God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. Right? It hasn't changed since Noah had his boat. You feel what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So I don't look at it the same way everyone looks at it. And they look at me like, oh, bro, you just like a doom and gloomer and this and that. I'm like, I'm a realist, bro. I think that I should live the best life I possibly can. I think I should live the best that I can as a flawed man. I should do the best that I can. I think that I should take full accountability for my actions and the results of my actions. That's how I look at it. So when I look at Brother Viking,
that's fair.
Right. I look at Brother Viking. I'm like, you know what? You told your woman what the deal is, and she said okay. So it's okay. Brother Dusto, I hear what you're saying. Yes, that comes with risks. It does. Mm-hmm. It comes with risk. But I know personally, I've seen lives wrecked by men who were cowards and would not step up and take full account for their actions. They got, like you said, they present, black man talks about this all the time. You know what I'm saying? Deacon Jones over there got the family to be in church on Sunday, and he got the other family on the other side of town. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it, bro. And then I want to tie it all the way back to this MGTOW stuff. There are guys out there who look at what's going on, they look at the situation on the ground, and they opt out. That's just bottom line. They opt out. Do I agree with it? Obviously not, because I haven't opted out. I'm just kind of like, I'm more picky. But I haven't opted out. But I tell y'all this, Ain't no more babies coming out of DL Saint. So it doesn't matter where I put this. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter where this joystick winds up. You know what I mean? If I want to shoot up the club, I shoot up the club. It is what it is. But if I get myself, which I don't want to do, but if I get myself in a situation where I got to take some pills or get a shot or whatever, then that's on me. That's something I got to do because I made a mistake or I made this decision. And I'm not advocating that people go out there and have unprotected sex. I'm not. All I'm saying is this. Whatever you do with your life, stand on it.
Fair. Yeah, that's fair. Just like you're saying, I'm got this action, I'm facing this consequence. All I was saying, because I'm in a lot of spaces where they just say anything and they just making anything up. They making up stuff as they go. Next thing you know, by 2025, smacking your wife around is exercising the backhand out. That's gonna be the new talking point. They crazy.
That's terrible. That's no good.
Yeah, that's how bad it's getting with a lot of these talking points that they're doing. I'm just saying, let's be real and let's just know what the actions are. You can opt in or opt out. And when you opt into an action, there can be some extra and you can't take it back.
I ain't mad at you. And we're finna do closings. We're going to do final thoughts. So we're going to start with you, Brother Dust, on the second. But I just want to catch up on the chat. Cool. We got Brother Mike on the house. What's good, fam? Always good to see you. Please like the video. What's good? How you feeling? Enjoying this conversation with Brother Dusto and Viking Paradigm up in the house, man. Which is, man, I ain't gonna lie to you. This is, man, I'm so glad we did this show, man. Y'all made this one of the best shows ever for me. I don't care how everybody else feel. I'm loving this. You know what I mean? Brother Smeebles, on that story, with how things happened, my dad was on the first plane to New York on 9/11, even got the stamp on his passport. Wow. Sorry to hear that, brother. And that sucks, man. My brother was on he was on the last I think he meant to put plane, the last plane to New York. Yeah. Like bro, you know, like things happen, man. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I told you about the story. First time somebody put a gun in my face. I told you about one of the other times someone put a gun in my face. I mean, it is what it is. I didn't know that was going to happen that night. I sure as hell would have stayed home if somebody told me, hey, if you go with Mr. Kelly's tonight, somebody going to put a gun in your face. I certainly would have stayed home that night. Guaranteed it. You know what I mean? And Brother Jose's in the house, man. I forgot to give you the shout out. You know what I mean? And Brother Jose, that's Old Testament. We learned from the Old Testament. That's why Jesus came to save us from the old ways. Bible is to learn from. And I'm telling you, the old ways are still here. I'm glad y'all reading y'all Bibles. Like I said, I'm the friendly neighborhood heathen. I know the stories. I was raised that way. Bro, me and Brother Viking got a lot in common. And he was like, no, he didn't get hit. That's cool. I was making sure he didn't get hit on that, man. I read that wrong. And that was for Brother Smith. His dad is okay. He didn't get hit. Yeah, my bad. I read that wrong. And Brother Michael Fax. So let's roll into final thoughts. And again, Brother Dusto, man, thank you so much for coming on today, man, because this was a damn good conversation, if I do say so myself, man. So what's your final thoughts on MGTOW? Men going their own way, and let's expand that to the sexual marketplace today, man, the dating game today, man. What are your final thoughts on that?
Final thoughts on MGTOW. Men going their own way. What's over there on your own way? Because let's be real. You want them women or a woman or these women that are over here, and you're deciding to go over there. You can justify and write up what you want, but you want these women. You do. And it's about, well, I'm in charge. No, you're not. Modern women ran you off over there. They said, you know what? You don't qualify. They started a gender war and you lost. But I mean, if you're not attracted to women, I mean, I don't know. But hey, that makes it easier for me. But why not? If there's something that you want, there's winners and there's losers. There's people who get stuff, do stuff, and then there's the rest of y'all. Do what you do to get what it is that you want. But you can't say you're winning, you ain't getting what you want, and you don't even qualify for it no more. But good thing, this whole conversation, we can have a conversation, we can disagree, and have a conversation. Shout Absolutely. Out to Viking. Shout out to DL for hosting.
Where can they find you, bro?
You can find me trolling in the Dustosphere. Still working on a show, but Thursday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I got some trolling to do, especially y'all who watch a lot of YouTube and know all this YouTube stuff. Yeah, I got some fire. But you might want to go back and watch some of the old ones too, because we funny.
Yes,
Black
sir.
Men Unfiltered Network, 7 p.m. But I'm also on a lot of stuff on Black Men Unfiltered Network. Or just random shows, you'll just see this bald head pop up and start trolling somebody for talking crazy.
That's what's up, man. Thank you so much for coming, bro. I appreciate it. I know you always be out there. And Friday, I'll see you Friday. That's gonna be fire, man.
I just text him.
That's what's up, man. So that's for you, man. I'm gonna holler at you later, bro. Peace. Right. And normally at this point on Final Thoughts, I would give you your own screen, but there's one last thing I wanted to pop in before we lock this down, Brother Viking. One thing I didn't get to throw in there. Red Pill Manosphere, MGTOW, and now the whole passport movement. Give me your thoughts on that before we roll into Final Thoughts. Give me your thoughts on Passport Bros as well as MGTOW, Manosphere, RP.
All right. So in terms of like the Passport Bros thing, the thing is that if you don't respect the game, as you mentioned before, you're going to get played no matter where you go. Hypergamy has always been a thing. It's still a thing, even in these other countries where, they say, oh, these women are more feminine. As Myron says, all women are gold diggers. Some are just better at hiding the shovel, right? And that sounds terrible when you put it that way. But in reality, hypergamy has always been a thing. Women always want the best of the best. This is biology. This is what we were created for, right? Women's job is to filter out the trash men, right? That's what it really comes down to. And that's why I said what I said before about feminism, inadvertently going back to the way things were, where the best of the best were the only ones that got to procreate. I mean, you can slice it however you want. That's what it is. So a lot of these guys are going, oh, I'm going to go over there. And I think it's a mixed bag. Some guys can have game here. Guys like Myron, they have game here. They have game over there. Same thing. Shout out to Big Mo, right? You'd think, oh, Big Mo, he can get it here and there. But, he's a big dude, right? But game trumps all because he has a high value mindset, right? He takes accountability for his actions and he leads himself first. And that's why other people, respect him and want to follow him, and he does the work. So, it comes back to Dusty Red mentioned the cocaine thing again about being in a Miami studio, right? Well, I know that I've minimized that risk in terms of being in the Fresh and Fit studio because Myron doesn't play those games, right? Myron's a former HSI agent, and so I can reliably be there. And if cops come in, it's going to come down to a drug test if there was cocaine there, right? So, just, not to really rag on that point, but it comes down to vetting people, right? Don't just vet women in your life. You need to vet the men in your life, right? Because as you mentioned before, that reverend or that pastor or whatever, that's got the family that shows up at church, and then he's got that other family on the side. That's a real thing, right? I've seen that too, right? Guys getting busted for having multiple families, right? It's the whole do as I say, not as I do, holier than thou attitude, right? And it always comes back to personal accountability. You need to be careful who you deal with. And if you have reason to be suspicious of somebody, then don't deal with those people. I chose Fresh and Fit, like I said before about vetting my gurus, because I saw them consistently giving back in a positive way that wasn't just take. They're still benefiting, don't get it twisted, but they're also benefiting people at the same time. And that's what I really think MGTOW is missing, is that they don't understand how to vet women. And a lot of these guys don't even understand how to vet their friends or their business partners. And that's the real flaw, is that men are not taking personal accountability and doing the work. They'll talk about pursuing excellence, not women, but they don't even know what excellence is. I talked about this in the Fresh and Fit Discord. A lot of guys talk about respect. It's just a buzzword now. Respect is actions, not words, right? When Myron said, pull up to the studio, I got you, I took him at his word, but he followed through with the action, right? He put me on, he put me up, he helped me out, he paid for my meals and paid for me to build the computer to replace Chris's old computer, right? And I had to have a conversation with him where we went back and forth to convince him of the efficacy of doing that. And he made a business decision right there on the spot to get it done. Because he knew that I had done the work. He respected my actions, not just my words. Okay. I hope that makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense, man. And damn, bro. I'm glad you're here, man. I'm just gonna leave it there. I mean, those are great final thoughts. I'm sorry I was on the screen with you, man. I should have left that. Here's your screen all by yourself now. Tell people where they can find you, because I know it's gonna be folks looking for you. You know what I mean? And folks like myself, actually, like, yo, man, where can they find you? What's going on with you?
All right, so I do have my own YouTube channel as well as a Twitch channel. I don't do a lot of content on them right now because I'm still leveling up and trying to grow my business and develop. You get contracts written up and all that good stuff so people like yourself can contract me when I get down to Miami, because that's the other thing that I got in the works, is that I'm going to be working on actually moving my happy butt down to Miami so that way I can do work for guys in that area, because there's a lot of content creators down there, and also be able to travel for business as well. But if you want to talk to me and get a hold of me, you can join the Fresh and Fit Discord. That's where I hang out a lot. That's where I talk to guys. I've been mentoring a lot of guys in there and helping them on their red pill journey as well. And I'm dual benefiting in there as well. I chop it up like I'm doing right now, where I just try to lay out the facts the best I can see them. I'm not perfect. I'm going to be the last person to claim I'm perfect, because I said I've made a ton of mistakes. The reason why I'm where I'm at is because I've screwed up so bad and had to correct. So that's the key, is if you want to find me, hook it up on the Fresh and Fit Discord. You should be able to find it. If not, hit me up.
There it is right there, man. Yo, this show was fire, man. I did not expect this show to be this good. Brother Viking, thank you so much, bro. That's for you, for coming through, being there, being supportive. Yeah, man, we definitely gonna talk. You know what I mean? I'm up in Tampa, but I do, give me, in 4 years, I'll be in Miami. I'm just waiting for my daughter to get old enough, basically, to get grown. You know what I mean? Once that's done, once we're done raising her, I'll be in Miami as well. But I'm down there all the time. You let me know when you're down there, bro. I'm making my business to get down there and see you. And definitely going to be doing some business with you in the future. I will promise you that. Can't wait to get you back on here, bro. Actually, we need to do a show, man. I'm going to hit you up. We need to get you on here and do an actual show. Y'all be looking for that. I'm going to talk to this man. I'm going to twist his arm, and we're going to get him in here, and we're going to do a full-on podcast, man, so everybody can know exactly who Brother Viking Paradigm is and what's all with that. You know what I'm saying? And I definitely want to talk about the religious aspects, bro. We have a lot in common there. Yeah. So I'm gonna hit you up. That's it, y'all. This was the show. I hope y'all enjoyed it, man. For me, my final thought, MGTOW, hey man, to each his own. If that's what you want to do, fine. If you want to continue to chase women, make sure you understand the game. Make sure you put in the work. Shout out to Rich Cooper. Make sure you put in the work, right? And don't get mad if it go bad, period. Don't get mad if it go bad, bro. If you go in here and you get yourself wrecked, it's your fault. Don't go blame anybody else, man. I'm so sick of this victim mentality that the entire country has these days. I can't stand it. You know what I mean? So those are my final thoughts on that. Sister Roslyn, I see you in the house, love. Always a pleasure. Please go over there and check out Sister Roslyn's YouTube channel, man. She's out there growing her channel, doing her thing, doing big things. I really appreciate you coming through, love. Thank you so much. And Brother Michael, as always, man, thanks for being here. I hope y'all enjoyed the show, man. We're done for real this time, y'all. Thank you so much. I'm DL Saint, and that's Brother Viking right there. And for Brother Dusto and everyone else who was in the chat, peace. I'm gonna holler at y'all next time, man. We out of here.
Darn, that's the end.